Come on in. We get plenty of room here. I've expanded the studio. There's a little bit of space here now. A couple of front row seats just for you. It is the spit zone. If you don't like that, you can slide to the back. No, it's not Carrot Top kind of stuff, okay? My wife saw him the other day. He has a home in Central Florida, and she saw him at the grocery stores. Can't miss that red hair, can you? Okay, are you in a holding pattern with your life? Are you? If you're in a holding pattern, it's time to break free, but you're stuck. I'm going round and round in circles. I can't get... How do I do this? Well, I learned to fly airplanes. I learned how to do it. It's really simple, okay? I'm a pilot. Listen to me. I'm in command. That's what today's show's all about. It is a daily boost from motivationtomove.com. The positive boost you need every single day. Life is going to get in the way. You can count on it, but that's okay. Yeah, I had another email the other day. I'm just thinking about that. Scott, you talk about life getting in the way. Don't be negative on the show. I said, huh? I'm not negative. And I've heard this before, so I knew it was coming. So I had a conversation back and forth with an email. I'm not being negative. I'm being very positive. Well, you say life gets in the way. That's negative. That's like calling it to you. I said, no, I'm not actually calling negative. I'm just saying life gets in the way because, good stuff gets in the way too. I mean, and sometimes you got stuff you want to do in the garage when you get home from work one night and then your wife goes, hi. And suddenly you're, okay, well, okay, I can't talk about it. It's a family show, but sometimes good stuff gets in the way. It just happens. So does bad stuff too. It just happens. So what do? We just learn to deal with it with a smile on our face. And people say, what are you so happy for when the whole world fell apart? And it's like, because I decided to be. How about you? How are you? My name is Scott Smith. I'm the founder and the chief motivating officer here at motivationtomove.com. Looking to the right above my studio desk here, the sign says good vibes only with a happy face on it. It's so awesome to be in the studio because it makes me smile every time I walk in. I posted a picture on my Facebook page the other day. I'll give you that location here at the end of the show. It's kind of cool. People like the picture. So, it's Monday. And that means I have a question on a Monday. Have you done your homework? Everybody needs homework. You need something to do, something to focus on. That might be why you're here today. Scott, give me something to do. Well, Monday, your homework is really simple. When this show's done, I want you to sit there in your car, at your desk, at your sofa, in your living room, on your deck, on your, wherever you are, in the cruise ship, in the Bahamas, listening to me. And that does happen. We hear about that all the time. Write this question on a piece of paper. How is my life going? And then write the answers down. And be honest. Good, bad, everything. Be honest about it. Because if nothing else happens, you will have brought it to conscious thought, and now you can deal with it. It's not dwelling down there anymore. That's your homework today. Go do it. So holding patterns. Are you in a holding pattern? Now, let me, I just thought as I get going here today about a holding pattern in life. We'll explain what that is here in just a second. But I think all of us are kind of somewhat in a holding pattern. Living here in Florida, it's like, God's waiting room around here. That's a holding pattern that nobody wants to be in, but a lot of people are. We're in a holding pattern. You're always waiting for something, aren't we? And sometimes it's, life is good. We're just kind of waiting for it not to be good. Sometimes it's bad. We're waiting for it not to be bad. We're always in a holding pattern of some type. Some are very short. Some are very long. Some keep you there forever. Some people choose to stay there forever. Some people don't know they're in a holding pattern and they don't even know how to get out of it. So let me tell you how to get out of it. When I learned to fly little airplanes, and I can't remember how long it's been now, it's 10, it must be about 18 years ago when I learned to fly the little airplanes. I'm having to think about when I learned and my first wife passing away and then marrying Joy and putting all the years together, figure out how long it's been. I could look at my logbook and see, but it's been a long time. But I went through the little airplane thing, and they took me into holding patterns. I had graduated from being what they call a visual pilot, a VFR pilot. Visual flight rule pilot, a guy that basically can't fly except on a good day. I'd gone from that to taking my instrument training, being an IFR pilot, learning how to fly in the clouds, if you will. Not to say I could even do it today, because it takes a lot of proficiency to do that. But I'd gone into that, and what part of being an IFR pilot is learning how to, when you're instrument rated, to fly holding patterns. Now, holding pattern is designed for one thing, and you may have been on a holding pattern in an airliner at some point when you realize you're coming in for a landing and then you're not. And you say to your honey, it seems like we're flying around in circles, are we? Yeah, I've seen that same mountain 17 times. You made 17 loops. So what it's designed to do is to hold in a slow aircraft and to keep traffic safe. And sometimes you'll see it like out in San Francisco a lot with the fog comes in and they'll put you in a holding pattern. So a pilot is told to enter a hold. Someday, if you really want to be confused, we'll do a show about entering a hold. That'll mess you up. That's where they stay. They say, go to this imaginary racetrack in the sky and fly an oval. And just keep flying that oval until air traffic control says it's okay to leave. That's kind of the rule. But see, in the airline, or the air traffic control, the airplane flying industry kind of thing, they have this thing called a pilot. And they actually call the pilot in command. In other words, the pilot's the boss of the airplane. He flies the airplane. Why? Because his seat is moving. The guy's on the ground seat is not moving. Only the pilot knows what's going on. So when air traffic control, the guy sitting at the desk down there says, hey, get in that hole and stay there. Have you ever been told to do that before? Get in your room and don't come out. Well, it didn't happen much at home in my room. It did happen at school a couple of times. It was called a corner. A couple of times might be conservative. Get in that hole and stay there until I tell you can come out, pilot person, you know. Man, sure sounds a lot like life, doesn't it? But I was in a holding pattern. We were training. And when you fly a holding pattern, it's kind of boring. Basically, the instructor flies you. So I'm going to do a holding pattern today. And you go up there and you spend like an hour of your time and spend like $300 flying in a circle. That's kind of it. That's what you do until you know how to do it right. It's the most expensive thing I've ever done. But we were in this pattern. It was going on and on and on. And I had it down. I was timing it. It was perfect terms. Everything was great. Even the instructor was getting bored. And they get bored really easily. And I'm like, so I pushed my little radio button. I said, hey, what do you think is taking so long here? I mean, we've been here like 20 or 30 minutes now. This is kind of crazy. And it's not like we're waiting for traffic. We actually went and we were asked to go in and on our way back. It was pretty easy stuff. And he looks at me. Experienced instructor talking to the inexperienced novice. I don't know. Why don't you give him a call and tell him you need to get moving? I can do that? I can call the big guy on the ground with the big voice on the radio that sounds mean and ask him. Just tell him. Don't ask him. Don't ask him anything. Don't request it. Just tell him what you want to do. And he will work it out. So what if he says no? He's not allowed to say no. He has to work it out. That's interesting. You are the pilot in command. PIC. So a few minutes later, once I figure all that stuff, I pushed the button. I called ATC on the radio, and in my biggest, best, I don't even remember what I said, but I had my big pilot voice on, you know, the one that makes me sound like I'm more experienced than I am. I said, hey, listen, I'm in the hold here. I need to get down pretty quick. Basically, the reason was I didn't tell him this. I had to go to the bathroom. Can we get moving here? He immediately cleared me to depart the hold, apologized for the delay, and sent me on my way. I never forgot that lesson. Never did. And I use it every day in life. Every day in business. Because many times I'm put in a hold by somebody else. What do they do? I'm on a business deal that I'm working, and suddenly it pauses, and they put me in a hold without thinking about it, and I'm thinking I'm flying around in circles here. What do I do? And they're off on vacation, or they just got busy and forgot about me. And until I call up and say, hey, are we going to get moving here? Oftentimes they don't. So if you're in a holding pattern in your life, maybe it's time that you say, hey, we need to get moving here. And don't request it. You know, when you request something, they can say no. You're the pilot in command of your life. Just tell people what you want. They can do it or they won't do it. Doesn't really matter. You're in control. You decide when it's time to get moving. Never forget that. All right, coming up tomorrow, 10 rules for a happier you. Man, I've had lists these days. I must be on vacation. I must be looking for lists to do my prep a little sooner. When you're producing 20 podcasts to go off on vacation, sometimes you do that, but they're all awesome shows, you have to admit. All right, join me on Facebook, because I am updating while I'm on vacation just a little bit, taking some cool pictures in the mountains and fun stuff and all that stuff. dailyboostpodcast.com/Facebook. Get to know me a little bit. Let me get to know you a little bit. Daily Boost Premium members, thanks for supporting me on vacation. I appreciate it. If you'd like to be premium, just go to dailyboostpremium.com. Check it out. See if it's for you.